Yeah, I went through Jamestown High School, then I went to Manlius School, and then on to Lehigh, and graduated as an engineer from Lehigh.
And once you graduated, now let's see, that would have been, were you involved in the service at all?
Yeah, I was in this service for about 4 years.
Tell me about that. Were you drafted or did you enlist?
Got my initial commission from Lehigh. That's how I joined the Army. I was sitting down in the golf lodge in Washington. On a Sunday, we were watching a football game, and the news started coming through with the
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you this important bulletin from the United Press. Flash, Washington. The White House announces Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor.
He called out, kept calling out all these higher ranking officers in both the Army and the Navy while we were sitting there watching the football game,
Wow.
telling them to report to their offices. And of course, word got around to us peons after the ball game that you better be the hell available early the next morning. We had to report the next day, early the next day, and
The next day you hear President Roosevelt probably on the radio.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. I ask that the Congress declare that since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7th, 1941, a state of war.
Were you apprehensive? Were you scared? You know, here you've been asked now to
no, I wasn't scared. I was too dumb to be scared. The general that I was working for in there in Washington, he wouldn't let me go. I got my orders. I don't know how many times they came through for me to go. He said, "No, I'm not going to let you go. You can do me more good right here with your background in engineering and so forth. You can do me more good and the country more good here, working here in this country, rather than going over to Europe and getting tangled up with that. So I'm not going to let you go." And he canceled my order. This general that I was working for, he was the top general in providing material for the service, and that's I was working for him, and then he had several generals working under him, and I was working for any of those guys that who were providing material for the service, what we were doing, and when they once got a hold of you like that way, that's where you stayed.
Yeah. So you were in Washington.
Right, all the time.
All the time. About the Manhattan Project.
Well, I can't tell you much about it. I wasn't supposed to tell you anything about it anyway. But
50 years has lapsed, so the statute of limitations has come and gone.
Well,
What was your involvement in it as a...
getting machine tools for the Manhattan Project. We'd get any anybody in this country, any manufacturer in this country, who needed any help in getting certain types of machine tools to further this Manhattan project, they'd come to us for help. And I remember taking away about over a dozen machine tools from I think it was Ford Motor Company that I stole them from.
No kidding.
And I had the authority to go to anybody that I wanted to or needed to go to get these machine tools. And they were these. I think it was Ford that I took about 20 or 30 machine tools. They had stashed them away in their in their factory, and figuring that they were going to need them. And when I found out where they were, why I went and took them away from them.
What did they tell you when the project was going on? How much did you know was actually occurring at the time?
Very little.
Very little?
Yeah. All I did primarily was get into the machine tool and out so that they could make the parts and things for the Manhattan project.
They didn't necessarily tell you what the end goal was supposed to be?
Nope.
I don't think many people knew that, did they? I mean, the scientists?
No, they kept that quite quiet all along there. But we had, I was at the end of it where I had helped to get them the machine tools to build the parts that they needed to build for the Manhattan project.
Mm-hmm. And you had a lot of power to go right into any company and to basically
Commandeer
commandeer it.
the machine tools, that's right.
Did you run into resistance?
Well, I never was asked to come back again.
Ford Motor didn't volunteer that they had this equipment.
We
You knew about it somehow.
found out from the machine tool manufacturer
Yeah.
that these tools went to Ford, and so that's where we went to commandeer the machine tools.
Just as an aside, did you have to pay for it? I mean, you took the machinery and equipment from them.
I don't know. I don't think we paid them. I didn't have anything to do with whether
Yeah.
we paid for them or not. My job was just get the tools into their plant so they can make the parts that were needed. And I don't know what anything more about the pay for them or anything else.
So in August of 1945, they dropped the atom bomb. Did you have a sense that you were part of that?
Well, I knew something was going to happen because all these generals were running all over for the months before that, getting their equipment lined up and so forth. But I didn't know very little about what it was and where they were going.
When it finally happened, they dropped the atom bomb. You read about it in the newspaper or hear about it on the radio. Was there any sense of, gee, Reg Lenna you were some part of that process? If you hadn't gotten the machinery, they wouldn't have built the tools. And
That's right.
yeah. Did you agree with Truman when he did that? When he dropped the atom bomb, did you say, good for Harry Truman?
I forgot what the hell I said. Probably said you go over to the Manor Court and have another beer.